afternoon to the dignitaries, teachers, and my dear friends. We have been immensely blessed to embrace the opportunities and savor the moments. You have got the power to make today amazing. Believe in yourself, take on challenges with a smile, and spread kindness wherever you go. Here's to a great day filled with joy, accomplishments, and positive vibes.
May each moment be an opportunity for growth, every challenge a stepping stone to success, and every interaction a source of joy. Embrace the day with enthusiasm, and may your efforts be met with fruitful outcomes.
Remember that you have the ability to make today remarkable. Approach your task with confidence and let your determination propel you towards your goal. Take a moment to appreciate your achievements, no matter how small, and use them as motivation for the challenges ahead.
Prayer is a mirror to the self, encouraging introspection and self-awareness. It's a space for acknowledging blessings, expressing gratitude for life's gifts, and recognizing the interconnectedness of all existence. May I invite Sneha Kirti for the prayer. കാരുണ്യസിന്ധുവാമല്ലാഹുവിൻ ലോകങ്ങളൊക്കെയും കാത്തുരക്ഷിച്ചിടും ലോകൈകനാഥൻ വാഴ്ത്തുന്നു സർവ്വരും. കാരുണ്യമേകുന്ന രക്ഷകാമി കൃപ ദൂരം നിരന്തരം വർഷിക്കണം തീർപ്പുകൾ നൽകുന്ന വാസരിയങ്ങൾ കാരുണ്യമോടും കാത്തുകൊള്ളണമേ. ധ്യാനത്തിലാമച്ചമാകും മനസ്സുമായി കാലം കഴിക്കുന്നു സർവ്വയാഗങ്ങളും നിന്നോട് മാത്രം നിവേദനം ചെയ്തിടും വ്യാജദൈവങ്ങളെ തീരുന്നൊരിക്കലും. നേരായ മാർഗം തിരിക്കണേ രക്ഷക പാരാതി നിത്യം നയിക്കുമാറാകണി സത്തുക്കൾ പോയൊരു മാർഗീയ ദൈവമേ ലക്ഷ്യത്തിലെത്താൻ തുണയ്ക്കുമാറാകണി. നീ കോപവർണ്ണീയ വീരുമത്തിൻ്റെ നിന്റെ അരയ്ക്കല്ലേ രക്ഷകാ ഞങ്ങളെ.
Welcoming a gathering is a wonderful opportunity to set a positive tone and create a sense of warmth and inclusivity. May I invite Ms. Jubi Joyce, HOD of PG Department of English, for the welcome speech. Ma'am, please.
Distinguished guests, esteemed speakers, scholars, and delegates, good afternoon. It's with great pleasure and a profound sense of responsibility that I stand before you today to extend a warm welcome to each and every one of you on behalf of PG Department of English as we gather here for 3-day international conference on unmasking injustice, exploring genocide and apartheid across borders. Your presence here signifies a collective commitment to shedding light on some of the darkest chapters in the human history and collectively working towards a more just and equitable world. In the pursuit of knowledge and understanding, we have gathered here from different corners of the globe, united by a common goal to unmask injustice, unravel the complexities of genocide and apartheid, and pave way for a future free from the shackles of discrimination and oppression. Let me come to the duty bestowed upon me. With great honor and privilege, I welcome our distinguished guest of honor, Dr. Fatima Sara Jabari, visual storyteller and researcher. We are delighted to have such an eminent scholar to inaugurate our international conference. After the inaugural session, she will deliver keynote address on the topic, integrating the practicing injustice. Welcome you, ma'am, to our conference. Now, let me welcome our respected CEO of Ansar Higher Educational Institution, Mr. Shahjan Mohammed Islam, and our beloved principal, Dr. Kamaluddin Keti sir, who supported wholeheartedly to make our dreams come true. Welcome, you, sir. Now, let us give a warm welcome to our esteemed Vice Principal, Mr. Arif K, whose dedication and leadership continues to inspire us all. Welcome, you, sir. On this joyous occasion, I extend a heartfelt welcome to IQAC members, research committee members, head of the departments, dedicated teaching and non-teaching staff, college union, technical team, and all my fellow students. Your collective efforts have been instrumental in making this event a resounding success. Thank you for your hard work and commitment. This conference serves as a platform for the convergence of diverse perspectives, experiences, and expertise. As we embark on this intellectual journey, let us be guided by the principles of empathy, open-mindedness, and shared commitment to truth. By exploring historical, socio-political, and cultural dimensions of genocide and apartheid, we aim not only to understand the roots of injustice, but also to cultivate a shared responsibility for fostering a world devoid of such atrocities. Throughout the next 2 days, our distinguished speakers and presenters will engage in thought-provoking discussions, presenting their research insights and experiences. We encourage each of you to actively participate, ask questions, and engage in meaningful dialogues. It is through the exchange of ideas that we can begin to dismantle the structure, the perpetuate injustice, and sow the seeds of positive change. In closing, I express my deepest gratitude to all the participants, organizers, and sponsors who have made this conference possible. Your dedication to the pursuit of knowledge and justice is commendable, and it is through the collective effort that we can truly make a difference. May the next 2 days be filled with enlightening discussions, meaningful connections, and shared commitment to unmasking injustice. Welcome you all once again. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Our academic fest is a collective effort to showcase the brilliance and creativity that thrives within this walls. It's a melting pot of ideas, a space where minds collide and collaborate, forging the connections that extend far beyond the confines of our classrooms. This opportunity reflects our commitment to exploration and innovation. It's an invitation to push boundaries, challenge assumptions, and delve into the ever-expanding realm of knowledge. Throughout this fest, we aim not only to celebrate academic achievement, but also to foster an environment where curiosity is ignited and passion for learning is kindled. Now, it's our privilege to welcome Shaji Mohammed Nisa, CEO of Higher Education for the introductory session.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Distinguished guests, esteemed faculty members, and fellow scholars, I congratulate the PG Department of Ansar Women's College for conducting such a relevant topic to this international seminar on unmasking injustice, exploring genocide and apartheid across borders. The stains of genocide and apartheid cast long shadows across human history, representing the darkest chapters of our collective experiences. These systematic forms of oppression transcended borders, ethnicity, and religion, leaving behind a trail of devastation that demands our unwavering attention. This seminar serves as a critical platform to shed light on these injustices. Through open dialogue and scholarly exchange, we aim to unmask the root cause of genocide and apartheid, explore the experience of victims and survivors, ensuring their voices are heard and their stories are acknowledged, examine the role of international law and intervention in preventing and addressing these atrocities, draw comparisons and connection between genocides and apartheid regimes across the world. By fostering a space for critical analysis and shared reflection, we hope to gain a deeper understanding of these enduring issues. Throughout history, we have witnessed the harrowing consequence of unchecked power, prejudice, and discrimination. From the Holocaust to the Gaza genocide, from apartheid in South Africa to systematic oppression around the globe. The scars of these atrocities serve as a stark reminders of our collective failure to uphold the principles of justice, equality, and human dignity. The PG Department of English at Ansar College recognizes the power of language and literature in illuminating the human condition. We believe that critical engagement with these narratives of injustice is central to promoting empathy, social responsibility, and global citizenship. Over the next days, we will have the privilege of hearing from renowned scholars and experts who will share their insights and perspectives. I encourage you all to actively participate in these discussions, challenge assumptions, and engage in open and respectful dialogue. As we mark on this journey of exploration and enlightenment, let us heed the words of Nelson Mandela, who said, to deny people their human rights is to challenge their very humanity. Let us stand together in solidarity against injustice, and let our collective effort serve as a beacon of hope for a brighter tomorrow. With these words, I conclude. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. It is the ability of a great leader to see beyond the immediate circumstances and chart a course towards innovation and growth. Your vision is not just about the goals and targets, it's about a profound understanding of the bigger picture, the interconnectedness of ideas, and the impact we can create together. The unwavering commitment to excellence paired with the strategic foresight has not only guided our team but has created an environment where each member feels empowered to contribute their best. With much pride, we welcome our principal, Dr. K.T. Kamaluddin sir, to speak about the seminar. Thank you.
Dearest academic foe, it is with great humility and profound sense of responsibility that I am standing before you today to welcome all of you to the international seminar hosted by our Department of English. As the principal of this institution, I am deeply moved by the gathering of minds dedicated to delving into the darkest corners of human history and harnessing the power of literature to illuminate the path toward justice and reconciliation. Literature has long served as a mirror, reflecting the complexities of human experience, capturing the pain, resilience, and the enduring spirit of those who have suffered in the hands of injustice. Through the lens of storytelling, we have granted access to the innermost thoughts and emotions of individuals, grappling with the horrors of genocide and apartheid, transcending the barriers of time, space, and culture. The theme of this seminar, Unmasking Injustice, speaks to the urgent need to confront the uncomfortable truths of our past and to bear witness the suffering of those who have voices that have been silenced and marginalized. Through the power of literature, we have the ability to amplify their voices, to shine a light on the darkness that lurks into the shadows, and to inspire empathy, compassion, and action in the face of oppression. Genocide and apartheid are not merely historical phenomena confined to a specific region or time periods. They are enduring legacies of human cruelty and indifference that continue to overwhelm across borders and across generations. From the Holocaust to Rwandan genocide, from apartheid in South Africa to the ongoing struggles of injustice in Palestine and in India beyond, the scars of these atrocities serve as a stark reminder of fragility of human dignity and the dangers of indifference. Today, as we engage in discussions, presentation, and reflections, let us do it with open hearts and open minds, guided by the commitment of truth, empathy, and solidarity through the lens of literature. Let us listen to the voice of survivors, poets, and storytellers who have borne witness to the horrors of genocide and apartheid. And let us honor their courage and resilience by amplifying their stories and ensuring that their experiences are never forgotten. Moreover, let us recognize that the struggle for justice knows no borders and transcends the boundaries of nationality, ethnicity, and religion through the literature. It is a struggle that requires us to confront our own complexity in the system of oppression and to work towards building a world redefined by justice, equality, and human dignity of all, especially through the literature. In closing, I would like to express the deepest gratitude to the speakers and participants who have made this seminar possible. Your dedication and pursuit to the truth of justice through the power of literature is truly commendable. Kudos to the Department of English for selecting a more significant topic for the seminar, as you did in the previous year on the topic, empowering, expressing the self-emergence of transgender literature. As we embark on this history together, let us do with this humility, compassion, and steadfast commitment to building a world free from genocide and apartheid and all forms of injustice through literature. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Our chief guest for the day, Dr. Fatima Sarah Zabbari, a visual storyteller and researcher, interested in visual documentation and researching the cultural and religious heritage of Indo-Iranian civilization in pre- and post-Islamic era. She has worked as a lecturer in Persian language in Department of Persian in Aligarh Muslim University and has taught MD students Persian under the program founded by the foundation of Iran's Cultural House, Iran Embassy in New Delhi, India. With immense pride, we welcome you, ma'am, to inaugurate this session. Ma'am, please.
My name is Sarah. I'm from Iran and I'm a photographer. It is a great honor for me to be here with you today, and I officially declare this session to be officially inaugurated. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Now, may I invite our Vice Principal, Mr. Aaron Dean, our beacon of support, who possesses the unique ability to uplift and inspire for the presentation. I would like to invite Anisha K.A., Academic Press Convener for felicitation.
Respected dignitaries on and off the dais, good afternoon. Today marks a momentous occasion as we gather to inaugurate the International Conference on Unmasking Injustice, Exploring Genocide and Apartheid Across Borders. It's with immense pride and gratitude that I stand before you as the convener of the significant events. The theme of this conference, Unmasking Injustice, underscores the urgent need to peel oppression and to expose the systematic injustices that continue to impact communities across borders. From genocide to apartheid, these are not just historical artifacts but ongoing struggles that demand our attention and collective action. As the convener of this conference, I have been privileged to witness the passion, dedication, and expertise of all those involved in its organization. From our esteemed speakers and panelists to our dedicated volunteers and staff, each of you has played an integral role in bringing this event to a fruitful one. Over the next few days, we will have the opportunity to engage in thought-provoking discussions, share innovative ideas, and forge meaningful connections that will shape our understanding of injustice and inform our efforts to combat it. Together, we will explore the intersections of genocide and apartheid, examine their root cause, and identify strategies for dismantling systems of oppression. Let's stand together in solidarity with the marginalized and the oppressed, and let's work tirelessly to build a future where justice reigns supreme. Thank you once again for your participation and your dedication to this vital cause. Together, let's unmask injustice and pave the way for brighter tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Now, may I call upon our student coordinator, Ms. Fauzia, for felicitation.
Respected CEO, Principal, our esteemed guest, Dr. Fatima Sarah Jabari, Vice Principal, teachers and friends. It is with great honor and humility that I stand before you today to express my heartfelt gratitude for the opportunity to serve as the student coordinator of the International Conference of our esteemed English Department. As we gather here for the inaugural session of the International Conference on Unmasking Injustice, Exploring Genocide and Apartheid Across Borders, I am deeply moved by the collective effort and commitment that has brought us together. First and foremost, I must extend my sincere appreciation to each and every one of you who has contributed to the realization of this conference. Your unwavering support, dedication, and enthusiasm have been instrumental in shaping this event into a platform for meaningful dialogue and reflection of issues of profound importance. Today, as we embark on this journey of exploration and inquiry, we are confronted with the harsh realities of injustice, genocide, and apartheid that continue to plague our world. These are not merely abstract concepts, but harsh realities that demand our attention and action. They compel us to confront the uncomfortable truths and to strive for a more just and equitable society for all. The theme of this conference resonates deeply with the core values of our department, a commitment to truth, justice, and the power of language to positive change. Through our collective efforts, we seek to unmask the injustice that too often remain hidden from you and to shine a light on the voices of those who have been silenced and marginalized. As the conference coordinator, I am humbled by the opportunity to play a small part in this important endeavor. But I am also keenly aware that the success of this conference is not a result of any single individual, but rather the culmination of the dedication and hard work of many. To our organizers, volunteers, speakers, and participants, I extend my deepest gratitude for your tireless efforts and unwavering commitment to excellence. In the days ahead, let us embrace the challenges and opportunities that lie before us with courage, compassion, and conviction. Let us engage in open and honest dialogue, recognizing the diversity of perspectives and experiences that enrich our collective understanding. And let us be inspired by the spirit of collaboration and solidarity that unites us in our shared pursuit of justice and equality. As we embark on this journey together, may we be guided by the words of Nelson Mandela, who once said, "To be free is not merely the cost of one's chain, but to live in a way that respects
and got the privilege of serving as the student coordinator. Together, let us work towards a future where justice triumphs over injustice and where the light of truth shines brightly for all to see. Thank you.
Thank you, Faustina. Now, may I invite our Vice Principal, Mr. Adam P., our Wake support, who possesses the unique ability to uplift and inspire for felicitation. Sir, please.
May the Almighty shower His blessings and mercy upon us. It is with a proud sense of honor and responsibility that I stand before you today to extend my warmest greetings at the inaugural session of the three-day international conference organized by the PG Department of English. The theme of this conference, Unmasking Injustice, Exploring Genocide and Apartheid Across Borders, could not be more timely or significant in today's global context. Over the next 3 days, we have the privilege of delving deep into the dark chapters of human history as we examine the scourge of genocide and apartheid that have plunged societies across the borders. This conference provides a vital platform for scholars, activists, and advocates to come together, share their research and insights, and engage in critical dialogue aimed at understanding the root cause of injustice and exploring avenues for positive change. I would like to extend my heartfelt appreciation to the organizing committee, faculty members, and students who have worked tirelessly to bring this conference to fruition. Your dedication, passion, and commitment to social justice are truly commendable, and I applaud you for your efforts in shining a light on these important issues. As we embark on this journey of exploration and discovery, let us not forget the human toll of genocide and apartheid. Behind the statistics and historical accounts are the stories of countless individuals whose lives have been altered by violence, discrimination, and displacement. It is our collective responsibility to bear witness to their suffering and to work towards a future where such atrocities are never repeated. Thank you. I wish you all a productive and enlightening experience at this conference as we strive to unmask injustice and promote healing and reconciliation across the borders. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. May I invite our chief guest, Ms. Fatima Sarah Jabbari, to receive a token of love from our family. I request our principal to present the same.
For vote of thanks, we invite Ms. Sangeeta KG, Assistant Professor of PG Department of English. Ma'am, please.
Good evening, all. Good evening, prestigious guests, respected dignitaries, committed staff, and dearest students. As we near the end of this exciting inaugural session, it is both an honor and a joy to stand before you and express our heartfelt gratitude to everyone who helped make this inaugural event a memorable one. Top of mind, I wholeheartedly thank our chief guest, Dr. Fatima Sarah Jibari, for joining us and inaugurating our session. We are actually waiting for your insightful comments and rich knowledge to enlighten us and also to inspire us to learn more about the topic. Thank you, ma'am. I express a special thank you to Janab Shaju Mohammaduni sir, CEO of Higher Education, for your enlightening introductory session. May your vision and leadership be a beacon that guides the institution towards excellence and innovation in higher education. Next, to our respected principal, Dr. K.T. Kamaluddin sir, for his unwavering support and guidance and to be the pillar of our academic and co-curricular achievements. Thank you, sir. Next, I must also express our gratitude to our Vice Principal, Mr. RSTA, for the felicitation and the continuous support. A heartfelt thank you to Ms. Judy Joy C., Head of the PG Department of English, for your warm welcome speech and for setting the tone for today's event. I must thank the convener and coordinator of this international conference, Ms. Fasila City and Ms. Anisha K. to making this event possible. I must also thank Ms. Neha KP who led us in prayer. Thank you for invoking a sense of peace and reflection. I would also like to acknowledge the tireless efforts of all the faculty members, non-teaching staff, including the electricians, the cleaning staff, the IT and media support, the sweepers and laborers, and everybody who worked behind the scenes to ensure the smooth functioning of today's event. Your dedication and hard work have not gone unnoticed. Next to my dear students, your enthusiasm and participation are what make the events memorable experiences. Thank you, students, for the energy, for embracing the opportunities, and for being a part of this international conference. And finally, to everyone who has been presented here, your presence has made this event more special. Your engagement and response have contributed immensely to the success of the session. As we move forward with the rest of our fest, let us carry the inspiration and insights gained today into our upcoming days and future endeavors. Here's to a fruitful and enlightening international conference of PG Department of English ahead. Thank you, one and all, for the wonderful beginning. Let's continue to support each other and make the most of the opportunities that lie ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I call upon Sneha for national anthem.
जनगणमनाधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष माहे गाहे तव जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे.
Here we come to the end of the inaugural session. Please get ready to explore and give your best during the upcoming days. Thank you.
Now it's time for us to move on to the next technical session. With much privilege, we would like to invite Ms. Fatima Sayed Jabari for a guest talk on the topic integrating the practicing injustice. Ma'am,
Am I audible?
I am delighted to participate. I am delighted to participate in the international conference on unmasking injustice, exploring genocide and apartheid across borders, organized by the Ansar Women's College. My greetings to all the participants in this conference and other distinguished guests. It is a matter of honor for me to address this important gathering. I am grateful to Dr. Kamaluddin Keiti, the principal of Ansar Women's College, and Mr. Arif Taher, Principal of Ansar Women's College. Further, I extend my thanks to conference convener, Ms. Ruby Joy, HOD, coordinators, Ms. Anisha and Ms. Hasila CK. I do not claim that I am a historian or a scholar of apartheid and genocide studies. I am the photographer who navigates through images. As the conference addresses the profound complexities of historical injustices from the shadows of genocide to the scars of apartheid, I find it important to talk about the first declaration of human rights, which happened in Iran in 500 BC. With that in mind, I pay homage to the enduring legacy of Cyrus the Great, the revered father of Iranians, who ruled the Achaemenid Persian Empire from 559 to 530 BCE. Cyrus the Great is recognized for his role in promoting human rights, mainly through the famous Cyrus Cylinder, considered the earliest declaration of human rights. It records Cyrus the Great's conquest of Babylon in peace and his policies towards its diverse population. A crucial aspect of his contributions to human rights is his religious tolerance. In the Cyrus Cylinder, he is depicted as allowing the various peoples and their deities to continue their religious practices without interference. This approach contrasts with the practices of other ancient rulers who often sought to impose their religion on conquered territories. Cyrus freed the Jews who were exiled and enslaved in Babylon and helped them to return to their homelands and rebuild their temple. This act is mentioned in the Bible, specifically in the book of Ezra. I seize this moment to convey my profound disappointment with global social media platforms. In their coverage of Palestine-Israel conflict, they frequently reference the mythological and unhistorical King Solomon, yet entirely overlook the historically documented event of Iranians liberating the Jews from slavery and resettling them in Jerusalem. While Iran has consistently provided refuge and extended a warm welcome to our cherished Jewish and Armenian communities during their historical travels, including the massacres by the Ottomans and World War II. Certain media outlets have unjustly implicated Persians as responsible for the dispersion of the Jewish community. Notably, the content produced by renowned Indian journalist Ms. Palki Sharma exemplifies this biased and censored narrative. Moving forward, Cyrus is portrayed as a ruler who sought to govern through consent rather than coercion. His policy of respecting local customs and traditions helped to create a sense of inclusivity within the empire. Cyrus's approach to governance and his emphasis on human rights have influenced later political and philosophical thinkers. One of Cyrus the Great's most notable accomplishments was achieving conquest without restoring to genocide. About genocide. In a dark chapter of human history, genocide has left an indelible mark on societies across the globe. This systematic, intentional, and mass extermination of a particular group of people based on their race, religion, ethnicity, or nationality represents the darkest depths of human cruelty. Genocide poses a haunting question: how can humanity be capable of such unspeakable violence? It forces us to confront the darkest aspects of ourselves and grapple with the fragility of tolerance and empathy within society. While international efforts have increased to prevent and address genocide, the world continues to witness new instances of mass atrocities with devastating consequences. Understanding the history, causes, and consequences of genocide is crucial to prevent future occurrences and ensure that the solemn vow of never again is upheld. Definition of genocide. Genocide is a term that encompasses the international and systematic destruction of a particular group of people based on their race, religion, ethnicity, or nationality. It involves the deliberate killing, displacement, and persecution of individuals with the intent to eliminate this group of people entirely or in part. The United Nations Genocide Convention, adopted in 1948, defines genocide as acts committed with the intent to destroy, in whole or in part, a national, ethnic, racial, or religious group. This definition serves as the foundation for understanding and addressing genocide globally. Genocide is now considered one of the most severe violations of human rights, reflecting the darkest depths of human cruelty and intolerance. The impact of genocide on societies and cultures. The impact of genocide extends far beyond the immediate loss of human life. Its effects ripple through generations, leaving a lasting impact on societies and cultures. Genocide tears at the very fabric of a community, destroying social cohesion and trust. It fractures the bonds that hold societies together, leaving survivors and future generations grappling with the trauma inflicted upon them. In addition to the loss of life, genocide often leads to the displacement of entire populations. Families are torn apart, communities are uprooted, and cultural heritage is destroyed. The physical, emotional, and psychological scars of genocide are deep and long-lasting. Survivors are left with the burden of carrying the memories of the atrocities they witness while societies struggle to rebuild and heal the wounds inflicted upon them. Causes of genocide. The causes of genocide are complex and multifaceted, often rooted in a combination of political, social, and economic factors. At the heart of genocide lies a deep-seated hatred and dehumanization of a particular group. This hatred can be fueled by religious, ethnic, or racial differences, as well as political ideologies that seek to exclude or eliminate specific populations. One common cause of genocide is the desire for power and control. Those who perpetrate genocide often seek to consolidate their power by eliminating any perceived threats or opposition. They exploit social divisions and manipulate existing prejudices to garner support for their genocidal actions. Propaganda, hate speech, and dehumanization are frequently employed as tools to incite violence and justify the extermination of a targeted group. The psychological and emotional effects of genocide on survivors. The psychological and emotional effects of genocide on survivors are profound and long-lasting. Survivors often suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, depression, anxiety, and other mental health conditions as a result of the trauma they endure. The loss of loved ones, the destruction of their homes, and the witnessing of unspeakable violence leave deep emotional scars that can persist for a lifetime. The case of genocide in India. Recognition is indeed the first step towards comprehensively addressing the genocide and injustice that still afflicts us today. These atrocities have many faces, and usually the violence remains confined to the region. As the conference serves to unmask hidden narratives, I am eager to recount the plight of those who became refugees in their own country, the Kashmiri Hindu Pandits, a majority which gradually became a minority through the constant conversions over centuries. Genocide means the systematic killing of a racial group and driving them out of their original place. This definition describes the exodus of Kashmiri Pandits adequately. In the cold, dark days of January 1990, thousands of Kashmiri Pandits left everything behind and ended up in Delhi, Jammu, and nearby cities. Some arrived at midnight at the doorstep of their relatives elsewhere. As a documentary photographer and visual storyteller hailing from Iran, my current focus revolves around capturing the essence of this minority group. What captivated my attention is the shared roots, intertwined past, parallel present, and perhaps a shared destiny that binds us together. Iranians and Kashmiris, two Indo-Aryan groups, share many ethnical and cultural bonds, from the pre-Islamic Aryan culture of Mazdayasni Zoroastrian religion and the early Vedic Hindu culture to the post-Islamic era, where Kashmir gets heavily influenced by the Persian culture to the degree that Kashmir gets famous as Iran Sabir or the Little Iran. Unfortunately, the rise of Wahhabism in the region not only almost erased the Persian Sufi traditions, but also erased the once prominent designation of Iran Sabi or the Little Iran from collective consciousness. Being a visual storyteller, I have worked on the cultural issues in Iran and the concept of Iranian or being Iranian. Here in India, I shifted my lens towards the community of Kashmiris and the idea of Kashmirian. Kashmiris, like Iranians, have suffered and still are suffering from military Islamization. Due to this military ideology, most of the Pandits in the region lost their homeland and all their belongings and were driven out of the valley. Through this narration of injustice, I came across many stories of Kashmiri Hindu Pandits living in camps for years, not changing clothes for 3 months, is the story of a Kashmiri man who lost everything in one night in the disaster of 1990 mass exodus. He told me how rough life was there in the camp, especially for women. The hygiene condition was catastrophic, and some died due to the heat. They had to live intense in suspension, fear, and tear for a crime they never committed. Perhaps their existence was a crime itself. House, property, money, still doesn't matter. We lost the land. That is the ultimate, said a Kashmiri Pandit activist to me while sharing his painful story. Some, however, remained in the valley and could survive with the protection of some of their Muslim neighbors. A Kashmiri man told me about his Kashmiri Muslim neighbor whom they used to call Masi or the mother's sister. One day, when everyone had gathered in Masi's house, the militants arrived at the doorstep. Masi sends the adult pandits upstairs and keeps the children on the ground floor. She undresses herself. She undresses herself and opens the door, telling the militants, if you want to get into this house, you need to enter through me first. Witnessing this, the militants left right away. How can we forget that? Said the Kashmiri Pandit man. His mother too told me that we stay as it is the land of our ancestors. Where would we go? Let us imagine what they went through, lost their everything, and many of them died longing for the homeland. Even imagining it is impossible, let alone living it. But the community made it. They started from zero, from scratch, with no help and no support from the government or the people back then. Only the good people of the community who had already settled outside Kashmir helped them out by giving them shelter and connecting them with jobs. They could survive them. While asking a Kashmiri man about the key that kept the community alive through all this adversity, he answered, education and only education. Now, with a 100% literacy rate, Kashmiri Pandits put their hands on their own knees and rebuilt themselves like a phoenix from the ashes of the fire made out of the anger and resentment of the ignorance. My memories are not limited to the stories of my Kashmiri subjects. What I have been told about them is important too. I remember a friend of mine once told me, Kashmiri Pandits, they are the most privileged refugees. Another advised me not to cover the Pandits' story, asking me, is this the right time? I asked him, then when is the right time? When the last Pandit also evaporates? A journalist once told me they have a luxurious life in camps in Jammu. So I visited their government-built camps to witness their luxurious life. Several people living in a small flat with only two tiny rooms. Perhaps for people who should have been worried by now, yes, that apartment was considered an ultimate luxury. Having listened to various perspectives and observed events firsthand, I am more confident now about the title I have chosen for my story, Selective Sympathy. So much is the world's condition of happenings that do not come in the news. However, the case of genocide and injustice in India go beyond the story of the Pandits. From the Sultanate period to the Mughals and to the colonial period, where the colonizers treated Indians in their homelands as subhumans. But the injustice is not limited to the non-indigenous oppression. The caste system itself in India, in its later forms, brought many injustices and discrimination too.
where the lower class has not been treated well by the upper class. Even in daily life, we can witness the many forms of injustice and discrimination in the relationship between the organized people and the villagers who are not considered by the people of the city as equals. In fact, I myself faced many difficulties in finding a house in Delhi carrying a Muslim identity from an Islamic country. The unfair or prejudicial treatment of people and groups based on race, religion, gender, age, or sexual orientation is what intensifies the organized injustice. Some historical examples of genocide. Throughout history, numerous instances of genocide have stained the fabric of society. These horrific events serve as stark reminders of the capacity for humanity to commit unspeakable acts of violence against their fellow beings. The Holocaust, perhaps the most well-known example of genocide, saw the systematic extermination of 6 million European Jews by Nazi Germany during World War II. This unparalleled act of cruelty aimed to eradicate an entire religious and ethnic group, leaving the indelible mark on the world's collective memory. Another devastating example of genocide is the Rwandan genocide, which unfolded in 1994. Over the course of just 100 days, an estimated 800,000 Tutsis were brutally massacred by Hutu extremists. The international community stood while this tragedy unfolded, failing to intervene promptly and effectively. The Rwandan genocide serves as a reminder of the catastrophic consequences that can arise when the world turns a blind eye to the plight of those facing genocide. Now I will give you some examples of apartheid. Apartheid was a system of institutionalized racial segregation and discrimination that existed in South Africa from 1948 to the early 1990s. The term itself means apartness in Afrikaans, and the policies were designed to maintain and promote the dominance of the white minority over the black majority in all aspects of life, including political, economic, and social spheres. Critical features of apartheid included the classification of South Africans into racial categories: white, black, colored, and Indians, with issues subjected to different sets of laws and regulations. The system enforced strict spatial and social separation with designated areas for each racial group, leading to the creation of racially segregated neighborhoods, schools, and public facilities. Black South Africans face severe restrictions on their movement, employment, opportunities, and political participation. They were subjected to discriminatory laws that limited their access to education, healthcare, and other essential services. The government enforced these policies through the police and military, and dissent was met with harsh measurements, including arrest, torture, and violence. The injustice of apartheid was deeply rooted in the denial of basic human rights and the perpetuation of a system that systematically oppressed and dehumanized the majority of the population based on their race. The international community strongly condemned apartheid, and the anti-apartheid movement gained momentum globally, leading to increased
pressure on the South African government to dismantle the system. Ultimately, apartheid officially ended with the election of Nelson Mandela as the first black president of South Africa in 1994. The dismantling of apartheid marked a significant victory against racial injustice. But the legacy of this dark chapter in South African history continues to affect the country socially, economically, and politically. Efforts to address the historical injustices and promote reconciliation and equality are ongoing in post-apartheid South Africa. The main distinction between the crimes of apartheid and genocide is the question of intent. The intent in the crime of apartheid is defined in the elements of crimes as an intention to maintain an institutionalized regime of systematic oppression and domination by one racial group over any other racial group. In contrast, intent in the crime of genocide is defined as one in which the perpetrator intended to destroy, in whole or in part, a national, ethnical, racial, or religious groups. As such, in other words, the crime of apartheid is a context-specific crime that focuses on the regime or structure of government in which multiple crimes against humanity occur. Accordingly, genocide can occur in an apartheid system. Indeed, after decades of systematic discrimination, domination, and persecution, genocide may be the end goal. This is what happened, for example, in Germany period to Holocaust, and in Rwanda period to the genocide against the Tutsis. Racial domination and the denial of the right to self-determination are key elements of apartheid. We submit that the continuation and deepening of the system of apartheid aggravates the risk of genocide. It is South Africa's case that the current killing and destruction in Gaza constitute genocidal acts, and that Israel has a duty to prevent genocide and to stop incitement to commit genocide. But the duty to prevent genocide is merely a component of a broader struggle for Palestinian freedom and self-determination. This is where the duty to prevent genocide and the crime of apartheid intersect. Without self-determination and under conditions of apartheid, there will remain a risk of genocide, a risk aggravated by the current conflict in Gaza. Israel's action also falls within the definition of the crime of apartheid because the destruction of infrastructures and killings of people could possibly be construed as the deliberate imposition on Palestinian Gazans' living conditions, calculated to cause their physical destruction in whole or in part, within the meaning of Article 2 of the Apartheid Convention. All indications are that we are still in the early phases of the current conflict between Israel and Palestinian armed groups in Gaza. Death, destruction, displacement, and starvation in Gaza may continue for months or even years to come. The nature and scope of the conflict remain unpredictable, and significant escalation and regional conflict may yet materialize. There is also the very real prospect of mass population expulsions from Gaza, the destruction of vital civilian risk structures is so widespread that Gaza risks becoming uninhabitable for years to come. The arming of settlers in the West Bank adds to the risk of extreme violence. All of this is occurring in the context of an institutionalized system of discriminatory law, policies, and practices, as well as numerous public statements that can be interpreted as incitement to genocide, as explained in South Africa's written application and oral presentation. Finally, in the pages of history, we find the stories of pain and unfairness. When we condemn the tragedy of Kashmiri Pandits, let's also denounce the plight of Palestinians. If we mourn the loss of Israeli lives, let's not turn a blind eye to the suffering of Rohingya or Uyghurs. Just as we denounce the Armenian genocide, let's also stand against the execution of innocent protesters in Iran. Throughout human history, we have often chosen sides, favoring one narrative while ignoring another. Yet, in darkness, we are all the same. What truly defines us as human is our capacity for compassion, kindness, and cooperation. Without embracing these human values, we risk reducing ourselves to lower class animals. Let us not be selective in our sympathy. Instead, let's honor the shared humanity that the divine has bestowed upon us. It's a gift meant to lead us to a life filled with joy, peace, and harmony. I would like to conclude my speech with a quote from Aldous Huxley, the English writer and philosopher, who said, "It's a little embarrassing that after 45 years of research and study, the best advice I can give people is to be a little kinder to each other." Thank you for standing up for human rights from Kashmir to Tehran to Gaza and elsewhere. My best wishes for the success of this conference. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Next, I call upon Hasda for vote of thanks.
Good afternoon to everyone present here. As we are coming to the end of this session, I would like to take a moment to express my sincere thanks to our Chief Guest, Ms. Fatima Sarah, for her contribution as a guest speaker in our conference. Your presence added tremendous value and insight to our program, and your expertise and knowledge on the topic were truly invaluable. Your presentation was not only engaging and informative, but also thought-provoking and inspiring. We greatly appreciate the time and effort you put into preparing for the event and for generously sharing your expertise and insight with our audience. Finally, I would like to thank everyone present here. Thank you all and have a nice day.